Boys, girls, all my Trompolics out there, welcome back to Otherobert. I, of course, am Joe, the other, and Other Robert, and I'm here to talk Star Wars The Force Awakens. Star Wars 7. This was fantastic. This was amazing, guys. It really, where do I start? I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I've seen all of the movies a few times. I didn't grow up with them or anything. I saw them all recently, within the past couple of years. So I've only seen them maybe a couple times each. So I'm not the biggest fan. Definitely enjoy the movies for what they are. And this one was fantastic. I really, really connected with this one. I guess possibly since it's really the first one that I kind of saw with everyone, if that makes sense. I was always kind of out of the loop, and it was kind of just digging into this new story, which it is a new story. However, I have a couple main problems that I'll get through this whole thing. I'm going to get into one of them right now, though. The story was really good. It was really good. However, it felt redone. It kind of felt like they remade Star Wars in a way. It follows the same exact formula, which is good. It sticks to what it knows, but it's also bad because it found not only are you guessing the entire time. It's not that you're going, I think that's going to happen. No, you know what's going to happen. You know every twist and turn that's coming. You're not second guessing it. You know what's going to happen, and that's because they followed the same exact formula. If it's not broke, don't fix it, I guess. But I mean, Star Wars 7, I mean, kind of time to fix it. I'm not complaining too much. I did enjoy the story a lot. But I wish they didn't go the exact formula. I mean, the comparisons are tremendous. It felt so much the same in the way it was structured, protecting the droid. I mean, everything. I went to go start listing them there, and there's just too many. I can't get into that. If you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. The formula is pretty much the same. That's both good and bad. I think it needed more of its own identity in that sense. And since I'm on the negatives right now, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead into the other negative. I enjoyed this movie a lot, so let me just get the negatives out of the way, and I can talk about how good it is. My other negative was Kylo Ren, the other antagonist, who I did like. My problem is not with Kylo Ren. My problem is with his presentation. They kind of present him as a wannabe Darth Vader, which I think is the wrong route for him. Minor spoiler here, just minor. He takes the mask off, and when he does that, I think that's an issue. I think that's a problem at first. I'm like, oh no, because he kind of looks. I love Adam Driver, but the way they make him look, they try to present him as so imposing and intimidating, and then when he takes the mask off, he looks like a dweeb. So I thought it was kind of confusing. But then it all started to make sense with some things they do later in the movie that I'm not going to spoil. I don't even want there to be a spoiler section to this because I don't want someone to accidentally keep watching. I'm not going to talk spoilers. But some things happen, and I think they presented him all wrong. Instead of going for that imposing, intimidating, brute force like Darth Vader was, it worked for Darth Vader. It could potentially work for Kylo Ren. Where I really think the money, though, in Kylo Ren is in him being a sneaky, slimy villain. We see it a little bit towards the end, towards the climax. We see him do some sneaky, slimy things, and I like that. And with the mask off especially, it works and it fits, and Adam Driver does that pretty good. And I don't think they were really trying to go a kind of a slimy, sneaky route with him. But what he did kind of gave me that impression for the moment. And that's where I think they should be going with him. I think by making him this imposing, brooding force, they even mention it in the movie that he kind of wants to live up to Darth Vader. And I don't think they should be dwelling in the past as much as they are. Everyone loves the original Star Wars movies. I get it. But if they're going to make a new movie, you can have those nods. And the nods to the past were wonderful. But have your own identity at the same time. And with making Kylo Ren Darth Vader light, I just think it's the wrong presentation. It could be done, and it could be done wonderfully. However, I think the money here is in making him a sneaky, slimy villain. And he does some things towards the end. He gets his heat. People hate him. The hate's there. Now have some fun with it. Don't make it just a repeat. Okay, that's all my negatives. Guys, the movie's so good. Okay, so the visuals, right? The visuals, everyone complained about the Star Wars 1, 2, 3, the visuals so bad. It didn't, I saw all the Star Wars the same time. So I didn't have the original trilogy and then the new ones and all that. I saw them all at the same time. So I'm pretty indifferent with differentiating them. But I get it. I get the visuals in Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of Sith. I get how they were kind of video gamey. And I think those, if you have that fear going into this, and if you have not seen this already, you can kind of put that to bed. Because this looked beautiful. Beautiful. It was visually stunning, I thought, really. I wanted them to go to more planets in this movie because of just how good they looked. And not only that, but the effects and even the characters, and it just felt so much more practical. And it felt more like the original movies in that sense, in that the visuals were more practical. And I think that it just looks better that way. And I think that goes to the directing. The directing here was phenomenal. It was really good. J.J. Abrams knew what he was doing with it. Were there some lens flares? Yeah, I think I saw a couple. I wasn't looking for it, though. But J.J. Abrams puts his style all over this movie. You can tell. But it still feels so much like Star Wars. And you kind of forget everything. You are completely immersed back into Star Wars. And I feel like I know that people say they were disconnected with 1, 2, and 3. Have no fear. I think this brings you back in. Absolutely. I can't speak firsthand because I never felt that way with 1, 2, 3. But this was so immersive. And it had what felt to be like a long running time. But the ride that you were brought on in this one movie is phenomenal. And the character development for the characters that we are introduced to, Finn, his character development for this movie, wonderful. I'm looking forward to seeing how the character development for Finn, for Rey, for all these characters that were introduced, and some of the older characters, how it continues to progress over the next few movies. There's some fun stories to be told there, and they completely had me hooked. And that's really my main positive of this movie. I felt such a connection to these characters in ways that I never did with the original characters. I knew about Luke Skywalker. I knew about Anakin. I knew about the stories going into it. So this is probably just because, like I said, I'm kind of going through this with everyone here. But I felt such a connection with these characters in ways I didn't with the other ones. And I was caring more about these characters. And when some things were happening in the movie, I found myself getting into it. And I was completely immersed pretty much from start to finish. The beginning captivated me right away. The acting was great. There's some relative unknowns in there. You got Oscar Isaac. Love Oscar Isaac. Greg Gunsberg was in there, which was pretty cool to see. Some other people here and there. Some character, I'm not going to spoil who's back if you don't know. I don't want to get too specific. The new characters are great, though. The old characters were great as well, but the new characters, I'm looking forward to seeing more from them. I really am. I'm looking forward to seeing the story play out over the next few movies. And the action, last thing I'll just say, the action was phenomenal. I thought the action was so much fun, and after an action scene was over, you wanted to see the story continue, but you're already looking forward to the next action scene because they were all so fun and memorable in their own way. This movie really has left a lasting effect on me. I can tell definitely going forward. I'm going to remember this for quite a while. I want to see it again already. It was that good, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see it again. I can't wait to see Episode 8 and Rogue One. Guys, Star Wars is back, and it's good. Really, 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 really good. So, let me know what you guys thought about Star Wars Episode 7. I almost said 8. Episode 7. Let me know. And I hate to be the guy that talks problems, but I said my problems because I care so much, and I think this could be even better, and going forward could be even better. So that's why I wasn't hating on the movie. I was saying like what I think would make these movies better. So let me know what you guys think would make these movies better. What's something that was in this movie that you're not necessarily hating on, unless you want to hate on it, then that's your prerogative, in the words of Bobby Brown. I don't know music. Let me know. If you hate on it, that's fine, but if you just want to see something done maybe in a different way, let me know. Let me know your ideas, your suggestions, anything down below. Let's talk about it. Let's talk Star Wars. And subscribe because it takes around this much effort to do so. And until next time, you've been traumatized.